Good afternoon, fellow classmates. My name is John Williams, and this is my testimonial video. I would like to apologize for the informal setting of this video. I am currently recovering from both a hip replacement surgery from 3 weeks ago, and most recently I dislocated that same hip just a few days ago. So I'm pretty much confined to this recliner for the time being. What I wanted to do in this video is, instead of like giving you a rundown of my life testimony, I wanted to focus on God's blessings in my life and how He has brought me through many, many storms and trials. The scripture that I would like to reference to today is a scripture that has become my life scripture. Both me and my wife, actually, this has been our life scripture, and we rely on the scripture and we lean on it every day of our lives to remind us that what God has for us. Um, that scripture is Jeremiah 29:11. Um, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. A quick review, a quick backstory of how I was called into ministry and where all this all began for me. Um, I don't have a real big testimony like, oh, how I came to Christ moment, because for most of my life I've been a Christian. I grew up in the Catholic Church. I had a very interesting childhood. In the Catholic Church, I was both an altar boy, and I was also a usher for many years, sang in the choir, was a lector at the time when he read scriptures. Um, when I was 16, I I felt like called into, at that time, I thought the priesthood. But um, thankfully, that is not the route that um, I took. Um, about 6 years ago, I was going through another difficult time in my life. I was recovering from knee surgery. And I was at a very, 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 very low time in my life at that point. I just lost a really good job because of my injury. I was out of work. I didn't know where I was going or what I was going to do. My wife went to church one day and prayed all day, and came back and told me that God had revealed something to her about me. And when I asked her what that was, she's like, "I'm not telling you. That's up to God to tell you." Fast forward 6 months later, I went to a men's retreat through, through church, and the last day of the retreat, God revealed to me that He wanted me to um, teach His children. Um, I've always had a soft heart and part of my heart for children, and He confirmed to me that that is where He wanted me to be. When I got home after that retreat, I told my wife, I said, "God revealed something to me." She goes, "Well, what was it?" And I said that He wanted me to become a children's pastor and minister to children. She just smiled at me and handed me her cell phone. And on the day of that prayer, she typed up what God had revealed to her. And um, believe it or not, it was word for word what I just told her. We had not conferred at all until that moment. That started me on a very bumpy roller coaster of life from that moment on. Um, I, I started coming to school at Trinity Bible College, which at the beginning was very, very rocky, very, very hard. I was the very first DMT student, and I'm not much of a student, when it comes to learning. Um, I've always been a slow learner, both reading, writing, um, arithmetic, and all that stuff. I was not very good at it. Barely graduated high school, to be honest with you. Um, but God has always, through all of this, no matter how many trials I've had, how many times I've wanted to quit, how many times um, my church has come against me at times, God has always been there for me. And He's always shown me and revealed a miracle to me or a blessing to me that reminded me of my calling, and that He will see me through to the end. He will always see me through to the end. His calling for me is something that has always been deeply special to me in my heart. There was a time after being called that I became prideful, thinking that, well, God called me, so it's my turn. I should be getting these opportunities. And through a very humbling experience, God revealed that no, it wasn't my time. Um, but even through that humbling experience where I thought my church had turned against me, my family had turned against me, and my friends had turned against me, God reminded me that He was there. He was there and He had a plan for me, and He was not going to let that plan be destroyed. And through that love of God, through that support from God and the blessings through that time, He also revealed to me that no one was against me, that everybody still loved me, but they were just trying to show me that I needed to have patience, that I needed to reach that point where God wanted me to be. So, if I can be of any kind of encouragement to you, it's that God will continue to reveal Himself to you in many, many ways. Sometimes it's through pain. Sometimes it's through suffering. Sometimes it's through blessing. Sometimes it's through joy. But always stand on the ground that He has a plan for you. He had a plan for me. And even though I'm continuing to have a lot of pain and struggles and hardships coming against me, I know and I can stand firm on the fact that He has a plan for me, a plan that will to prosper me and not to harm me. Maybe not physically. I mean, well, He didn't cause this, but this plan and His promises does not always mean that we're going to walk through unscathed, unhurt, unblemished, unhurt. But it promises that He's going to see us through, and He's going to walk with us and guide us through it. And in the end, He's going to reveal that plan to us in the sense that we are going to have hope, and we're going to have that future that He promised a long time ago to us when we were first called into His family. I know I'm not through with my struggles, and anybody that thinks that the day they are called and becomes a Christian that everything is going to be roses and 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 unicorn tails, just let me remind you of one thing. Life is full of roses. It can be a rose garden. God never may have promised us a lot of things, and that song, God never promised us rose garden. Well, guess what? He may give us a rose, and we may get a bundle of roses from life. But look closely at roses, and what are they? What are a big part of roses? Those thorns that will prick us. Those pricks in our skins, in our fingers, in our heart, in our soul are not there to harm us or to destroy us. It's there to strengthen us, to help mold us. And through that pain, if we continue to look through God, as I did, and as I continue to do, even like now, today, I'm not going to lie to you, I've gone through another hardship here, and I'm broken, and I'm hurting, both physically, spiritually, but I'm relying on this promise, on this scripture of Jeremiah 29:11, that no matter how I'm feeling today, no matter how low I get, how destroyed I get, how much I feel everything is coming against me, I know that God called me into His ministry. God shared a promise to me. And God is going to use that plan to prosper me and to show me a future full of hope. Maybe not for me, but for Him and His kingdom. So, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a blessed day, and God bless you.